Prey has just been released to Hulu or Disney Plus for international audiences, and it is a fantastic entry into the Predator franchise. In this video, we'll be breaking down any visual details, references to the other Predator films, and any Easter eggs you might have missed. There will be time codes below if you'd like to skip to a specific part, and a warning, there will be spoilers ahead. So without further hesitation, let's begin the hunt. The feral predator, as it has been called by Dan Trachtenberg, is a new subspecies of Outtro described as hailing from a different hemisphere of the traditional Outtros. Physically, it is similar, being humanoid with 4 mandibles, long predlocks, and when its blood is exposed to air, glows neon green. However, it differs most notably as an elongated head with a wider eye gap, a more ankled upper mouth, and a more furrowed brow. Comparisons have been made to Predator's berserker predator, aka Mr. Black, but to me the face is on the opposite end of the spectrum, considering Mr. Black's face was wider than the jungle hunter, whereas the feral's is thinner and longer. Its predlocks are also thinner and more densely packed together. Its body, while being similar in color to berserker predators, has a longer abdominal section with 14 abs, and one row of which seems to separate into an abdominal oblique combination. While many fans seem upset about the face redesign, I understand that audiences have seen the traditional Stan Winston Predator team up with humans multiple times. Scar with Alexa Woods, Crucified Predator with Royce, and whatever the fugitive Predator was trying to help humanity with. Making the Predator look different and less human in the eyes gives us something new and unknown, and we'll always fear what we do not know. The feral Predator's armor is also stripped down, with only the biomask, a small backpack, and a loincloth. The armor itself is a blending of classic Predator tech and bone, giving the hunter a naturalistic and yet demonic look. The lack of eye lenses and exposed mouth has the same impact that the xenomorph face has, making us unsure whether it could be looking at any given moment.
The front of the mask appears to be made from the exoskeleton skull of a river ghost seen in 2010's Predators, which itself is a homage to the original design of the Predator worn by Jean-Claude Van Damme before the look that we all have come to know and love.
The Predator technology is similar, with a few updates on classic Predator staples, as well as some new additions. The biomask, or biohelmet, still sees in infrared, this time without the soundwave bar to the left, which might explain its lack of mimicry, but now has an identifying HUD on the right. The language shown in the Predator is similar to the classic Predator letters, but it's not the same. The bottom mark now has 2 lines as opposed to 1, and whether the mark is on the left or the right might have an importance or not. When I combine the 2 bottom marks, I could translate a few of its letters of its language, but not many. This appears to be a new language, possibly an older language that predates the current one, or just from a different hemisphere, different language. In its kit, the feral predator also has a metacomp, briefly seen sealing up its wounds, as well as the cryogenic flare for cleaning skulls. The double wrist blades return, but now they are no longer able to be cloaked. The cloak itself now shimmers red instead of blue, and its bump map is similar to the hexagonal one seen in the Predator. Movement seems to affect the effectiveness of its stealth, where being completely still can make it virtually invisible, as seen when it slays Tob. The shoulder-mounted plasma caster has been replaced with a handheld magnetized bolt caster that has active tracking and target-seeking capabilities. Each laser of the classic Predator triple laser is connected to one of the 3 bolts, and now the laser can separate so each bolt hits a different area on the target. The Gauntlet self-destruct bomb has been scaled down from a nuke-level explosion to more of a bouncing Betty type explosive, where 3-time grenades float up and expand flanchettes from the sides to be used as shrapnel. 2 weapons introduced in Predator 2 make a return, albeit altered: the combi stick and the net gun. The net gun has been replaced with a throwable net, and while it retracts the same, this one will retract entirely, mulching the tree and its captured prey together. The combi stick still expands, but now has 2 separate parts, one that acts as a club and the other as a bladed short spear. 2 new weapons include a retractable shield and what I've been calling a snap snare. The shield is bulletproof and razor sharp, shown to be cutting not only through the human and predator flesh, but also through stone. The snap snare seems to have a heating quality that can melt through an iron bear trap and cauterize wounds somewhat. It is a throwable weapon and acts like an amputating bolus. It is the weapon that amputates the leg of Raphael Aldolini. Yes, that's right, the flintlock pistol of Raphael Aldolini, given to Lieutenant Harrigan by Greyback at the end of Predator 2, gets an origin, and it makes the comic Predator 1718 no longer canon. I predicted that Disney would give the Dark Horse runs of Aliens, Predator, and the AVP the Star Wars Legends treatment, and it seems to be right so far. Other callbacks to previous entries in the franchise are when Tob, when captured by the trappers with Naru, says to her, "If it bleeds, we can kill it," referencing Dutch from Predator 1987. More subtle callbacks are when the trappers bleed Tob. The cut along his torso resembles the cut that Billy gave himself before his duel to the death with the jungle hunter. Also, it should be said that Billy is not a descendant of Naru, given that Naru is Comanche and Billy is Sioux. There is also a moment when the trappers walk up to Naru and in French say, "Look here, a woman. What is she doing here? She's going to slow us down." By the way she was running, I think she saw it. This is a conversation between multiple ones. It wasn't all one person saying that, but I took that as a callback to when Dutch saddled Dylan with Anna. The end credits show multiple Predator ships coming into the atmosphere, setting up a possible sequel. Either way, Greyback gets Raphael's pistol from Naru somehow, and whether we will see it or we'll have to imagine it is up to 20th Century and Disney. All in all, I think this was a real solid entry into the franchise and a huge improvement over 2018's The Predator. I recently rewatched that in hopes of giving me some context to translate in the Predator language here, and it works only as a comedy parody, which does not fit the subject matter. Prey is a much more serious movie with no humorous moments, but it does have something to say about colonialism and what it means to be a hunter, in both who can hunt and why we hunt. I look forward to Predator, issue number 1 from Marvel, dropping soon on the 10th of August, and whether anything from this movie will make a callback in it. As always, please like and subscribe for everything Predator, as well as Aliens, Terminator, and Blade Runner, and happy hunting.